In my last health video, I celebrated getting my ferritin from a critical 5 up to 51, then shared how it dropped slightly to 49 after I went plant-based. But if you've been following along, you know on this channel we aim for optimal levels. Did I manage to reach ferritin level 70? No, I didn't at all. But what we found out instead changed everything. In this video, I'm sharing the potential hidden root causes holding me back from reaching my target and growing the hair of my dreams. You will see why simply taking an iron supplement isn't cutting it anymore for my current lifestyle, and the high-level plan my new naturopathic doctor put together to fix it. Quick disclaimer though, I am still not a doctor. I'm just sharing my personal health journey for educational purposes. Always consult your own professional. Okay, let's get into it. First, a confession. As it's been a while since my last blood test, in fact, it's been a full year since I found out my ferritin dropped from 51 to 49. It's been a full year. I know, I always tell you guys test every 3 months, and I still stand by that, especially at the beginning of your journey when your iron is dangerously low and you're trying to figure out if a specific supplement is even working. But for me, my levels had stabilized out of the danger zone, and I wasn't testing anything drastically new. I was simply taking my iron supplement, the Mega Food Blood Builder, and sticking to my plant-based diet, making all the effort possible to enhance iron absorption. And I also felt great. But still, why did the whole year pass, Bambi? What did you do? I really want to share that with you because I think it might help some of you. Honestly, time flies. I am myself shocked. It's been a year. I can't believe it. But the main reason is that I felt completely let down by the public health system here in Germany. If you've seen my previous video, you know I was so tired of it and I didn't want to keep doing it alone because it's also exhausting, right? And self-medicating without proper guidance can be risky. I wanted to find a professional, an ND, functional doctor, someone in TCM who could help me with this investigative health project of mine. I wanted to understand the why beyond my deficiencies, but finding someone like that meant going private with a language barrier because I live in Germany and I don't speak German. Yeah, shame on me. Shame on me. I'm really not proud of this, but that's for another video. My options were not only limited, but expensive. I was just paralyzed by overthinking. That's it. What finally broke that paralysis? Your comments under that 5 to 51 video, guys. Reading how helpful it was, hearing very similar stories pushed me to finally choose a practitioner. I took advantage of the free 15-minute discovery calls that most of them offer and used it as an opportunity to interview that person. I asked questions to see if she understood what I meant by optimal lab ranges rather than just normal ones. I also wanted her opinion on shrinking fibroids, and her answers just satisfied me. She matched my vibe. I felt comfortable, so I decided to go with her. My only regret is waiting so long. Learning. Please don't wait a year like I did. Book those free calls and find your match. If you are facing a similar hurdle, maybe you live in a country where you don't speak the language very well, or you're not able to find a specialist near you, you can always look for a practitioner located elsewhere and handle the local lab work yourself. This was my plan B. I was also considering practitioners back in France. I contacted several actually because it was also much cheaper in France, but I'm glad that I found someone in Berlin because it's also more convenient, I'm not gonna lie. Just wanted to share that remote care is also an option. The investigation. Now I will share briefly what happened in my sessions with my ND. Not everything because we don't share everything on the internet, right? Okay, but I think enough for you to have an idea of how working with such professional could look like. The session lasted 3 hours. 3 hours! First, she took my blood right away because we agreed on the phone that I urgently needed an update on my numbers. Then she offered me a cup of tea, also a cup of purified water, and she even asked me if I want more. I mean, when you come from a place where your doctor barely even looks at you, this kind of gesture feels so luxurious. Okay, let's be serious again. In our first session, I talked about my life. That's why it took very long. My childhood and many things. Because one's health is much bigger than just prescribing a pill. I also shared my goal. I was a little bit shy, but I said, I just want my hair to be long and healthy. But she didn't minimize that at all. unlike my previous daughter. She understands that healthy hair is multifactorial, that hair can be the mirror of one's health. I mean, it was my wake-up call. It's one of the things you can't miss when you look at yourself in the mirror. Hair is important, and it plays also a role in your daily self-confidence. Now that she knew where I was coming from and where I wanted to go, we laid out our strategy. We decided to run a complete blood count and nutrient panel to see if I was missing any essential minerals needed for hair growth, which include, of course, iron. A comprehensive stool test, because you can do everything right, but if your gut lining is compromised, you won't absorb those nutrients efficiently. And a hormonal panel, so this is something that could be offered to you to see how your hormones impact your cycle. That's probably more because I have fibroids, but in my case, we missed that specific monthly window, so we haven't done it yet, but we might do it later. The 3 golden rules of iron. Okay, I always like to say that ignoring the root cause of your deficiency while supplementing is like pouring water in a bucket full of holes and hoping it stays full after you cut off the water supply. Before I share the test results and the solutions with you, let's recapitulate the 3 main factors that control your iron levels. Intake, absorption, consumption. Intake is the most obvious one. Are you eating enough iron-rich foods? Absorption, how much your body actually keeps from what you eat. Is it boosted by things like vitamin C or worsened by things like coffee, tea, or poor gut health? And the last one is consumption. It's how your body uses or loses iron, maybe through sport and muscle building, maybe through your period or blood donation. When my results came back, we realized that my struggle to hit optimal ferritin wasn't about just one of these areas. I had a massive hole in all 3. The 3 hidden holes in my bucket, and how we are planning to fix each one. The first one is the intake. Ferritin isn't the whole picture, it's just your iron storage. Other nutrients decide how well your body actually uses that iron on whether your hair grows or keeps falling. So we picked a few key ones to test. My results. Okay, let's start with what's very good, because the rest is catastrophic. And also, it's a friendly reminder to celebrate your small wins. My vitamin D, guys, came back at 56. Optimal range is 40 to 60. Please put a sun emoji in the comments to cheer for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, now let's talk seriously. Let's start with ferritin. When my ND announced my level, I was literally holding my tears. Guys, it's gone down, further down to 43. A year ago, I was at 49. And my absolute highest was 51, right? Of course, I was not expecting 100 out of nowhere, but I guess I got emotional because I realized that I've gotten a little too comfortable. Why did my ferritin drop if nothing major changed in my diet? Well, one thing did change. Over the last 8 months now, I think, I started exercising consistently, building muscles, and this can really increase your body's iron consumption. I was sad, but she managed to cheer me on, and then I realized that I don't need to be sad for that long. Actually, I was sad for 1 minute because I realized, actually, I'm not alone anymore. What am I crying for? At least I have someone who can help me now. Let's look at the rest of my panel. Instead of showing you the exact numbers, which look totally different on a whole blood cellular test anyway, so our numbers might not be comparable, I'm just going to show you the visual lab report. Let's start with magnesium. It's sitting way down in the low yellow zone. Before my test, my ND actually learned from me that I was taking 5,000 IU of vitamin D daily, and she warned me to watch my magnesium. Vitamin D requires significant amounts of magnesium to convert into its active form in the body. So me taking this high dose of vitamin D without extra magnesium literally drained my tank. Iron and copper, they are both borderline low, sitting right on the threshold. Potassium and zinc, they are low, normal. Selenium is also green. Oh, selenium is in the green zone. Oh, I forgot to celebrate selenium. Selenium, congratulations. Sorry. As you can see, there is definitely room for improvement. Just looking at this graph, you see where I am, and this is where I should be, at the same level of the selenium and the vitamin D. All right, how are we going to fix this? I will be supplementing in the minerals I'm low in: magnesium, zinc, copper, iron. It's a lot of pills for me to coordinate throughout the day so they don't compete for absorption, like taking the copper far away from the zinc. That's also why generic hair, skin, and nails multivitamins often fail, because first, we don't all have the same deficiencies, and those generic pills often mix competing minerals together, making them not so effective. For the vitamin D, I'll just continue taking my 5000 IU daily, although she told me that I can also take breaks, especially in summer. And when it comes to iron, my ND was fine with me continuing the blood builder since she also approves iron bisglycinate. However, out of curiosity and because my jar was almost empty, I asked her for a recommendation based on her experience and the results she gets with other patients. So I'm changing to something new. I'm now testing a plant-based iron supplement from Sunday Natural. It's a Berlin-based company with clean, high-quality ingredients. I love their packaging. I like how minimalist it is. This iron supplement is very interesting. I'm very intrigued, guys. Let's see how it goes. Then, on top of the supplements, the diet is another issue for my iron intake. As you know, I've been plant-based for over a year now, and my auntie could actually see that my diet was very clean. She could see it from the results. She encouraged me to keep going, meaning eating a lot of plants, no alcohol, no refined sugar, reduce processed foods in general, and so on. Basically everything I've been sharing on this channel. But she also suggested a few strategic additions. Organic red meat. She only brought this up because I told her that I am ready to reintroduce animal products. So she told me that I could benefit from a small amount of organic red meat. And it's true that when my ferritin shot to 51, I was eating an omnivorous diet that included beef and even beef liver. I only switched to a plant-based diet to help me manage my fibroids because red meat can be inflammatory, but she told me that quality, frequency, and quantity matter most. So I'm adding a maximum of 1 high-quality organic steak per week from a local organic shop here in Germany. She told me to check at Bio Company if you're in Germany. Let's see how my body responds. That being said, if you have successfully raised your ferritin to optimal level on a 100% plant-based diet, please tell me your secrets in the comments. I still want to believe it's completely possible. Then iodine to support my thyroid, although my numbers were actually good, and it also helps with hair. So I will be incorporating nutrients-dense seafood like sardines, clams, mussels, and algae is an option if you are looking for a plant-based alternative. The second major issue my tests uncovered was an irritated gut barrier, commonly known as leaky gut. Those tests showed low-grade inflammation and an elevated alpha-1 antitrypsin. It's a protein that's supposed to stay inside your bloodstream, and finding it in my stool showed that my intestinal lining was irritated and leaking, meaning my gut barrier was compromised. It severely limits your ability to absorb nutrients. No matter how many healthy food I ate or supplements I took, my body simply couldn't absorb those vitamins and minerals efficiently. If you're wondering why people develop a leaky gut, it often comes down to dietary habits, especially those high in refined sugar and ultra-processed foods. I definitely have a sweet tooth. It's gotten better, but I love pastries. The Paris-Brest is my absolute favorite. Guys, when I go to France, I try my best to resist. But I could honestly eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Sugar is probably going to be my biggest challenge. But leaky gut can also be triggered by chronic stress and certain medications that damage the gut lining over time. What's the solution for this? To heal my gut lining, building block support with bone broth. It's very rich in collagen, glycine, and proline to support the repair processes of the intestinal lining while promoting hair and skin health. My ND recommended a local organic brand that you can also find in Bio Company. I guess it's probably even cheaper if you make it yourself, but to be honest, I've been plant-based for over a year. I'm not ready to deal with bones right now. Really not. But maybe one day. But so for now, I'm happy to just pay for that very expensive store version. Then I'm adding a prebiotic support with the lion's mane. It's a medicinal mushroom powder that feeds beneficial gut bacteria, supporting a healthier microbiome, digestion, and nutrient absorption. And last, a probiotic support with sauerkraut. But honestly, the idea is just to add fermented food. It could be kefir, kimchi, kombucha. The idea is just to provide live beneficial bacteria to support the gut barrier. I'm only 1 week in and my digestion is already noticeably better. Again, only been 1 week, so I don't want to make huge conclusion that early, but I can feel the difference. I have a question for you guys. Fermented foods look different all over the world. What is a traditional fermented food from your country? Let me know in the comments, because the sauerkraut is not really impressing me. The third and last whole, consumption. Of course, I told you about me exercising, but exercising it's necessary. But the question is, where are we wasting iron, basically? My ND made it clear, if I don't control the heavy blood loss, raising my iron will always be a challenge. I asked her what a normal period is supposed to look like, so you can also assess your own cycle. And here she told me that of course she's gonna tell me what's normal, because it's still very different from a person to another, but she can tell me what's not so normal. Okay, so first she told me a period lasting longer than 4 to 5 days is not normal. Waking up in the middle of the night just to change your protection. And she told me, no, you should be able to have a proper night of sleep. Sleeping is important. Another thing is trapping yourself at home on day 1 or 2 because you have to change every hour. That's definitely not normal. Or that you need to change your pad or your tampons more than 5 times a day. That's also a bit too much. So if your heavy periods are due to fibroids like mine, polyps, PCOS, endometriosis, she gave me hope by emphasizing that having a chronic condition is not a reason to just accept the heavy bleeding. So how are we going to attempt to fix this? Before we jump in, a quick heads up. I'm focusing on fibroids for the next couple of products because that's what I'm dealing with, but they are not just for fibroids. They are also mentioned for things like heavy bleeding, endometriosis, or PMS. So if you're interested in how they could help with other conditions, I will post extra details over on my Substack for you to read. The link is down in the description. So previously, I was drinking a custom herbal tea blend, taking Vitex, which really helped me improve my PMS and the flow, even though it didn't shrink the fibroids themselves. And when she reviewed that protocol, she actually liked it. She said it's a very good one. But she also explained to me that to target fibroids effectively, concentrated extract often work much better, and also sipping a tea of one herb than mixing too many together at once is also better. Let me explain what the fibroids can cause heavy bleeding. Normally, your uterus contracts to shut off blood vessels and control the flow. But fibroids physically block those contractions, leading to a sudden flooding because your body can't squeeze shut. That's why our main goal here is to shrink them so your body can regulate the flow naturally again. To tackle this, she gave me a 2-part approach: a long-term strategy for the fibroids and a flow support, and a short-term option to help manage heavy bleeding during my cycle. For the long-term support, I will be taking EGCG and Ladies Mental. EGCG is basically green tea extract. It's a powerful antioxidant shown in clinical study to help shrink fibroid volume around 32% over 4 months and reduce heavy bleeding, providing therapeutic potency. 1 capsule equals 4 cups of green tea, without the iron-blocking tannins found in the liquid tea. I will link the study down in the description if you would like to check it out for yourself. Ladies Mental is a traditional herb used to ease PMS and regulate heavy cycle over time as well. And here again, 1 capsule equals 4 cups of tea. So yeah, I'll be taking EGCG and Ladies Mental every day for 4 months. Let's see how it goes. And I just have a question for you. Since some of you already mentioned interest in the fibroid side of things, I want to make that future video as useful as possible. So if you could tell me, what question do you have? What do you want to know? So I can eventually even bring some questions straight to my Andy next time I see her. Yeah. Thank you. For the short-term support, the emergency break tincture or tea, because EasyCG and Ladies Mental, again, they work on several cycles to show results. But my ND gave me an immediate option for heavy bleeding days, Shepherd's purse. Shepherd's purse is a traditional uterine astringent that signals blood vessels in the uterus to narrow. Picture a tap turning down, excessive flow. Yeah, exactly that. And think of it as a way to preserve as much blood as possible through your iron and the ferritin. Don't take a drastic nosedive every month. I'm taking it as a tincture. You can also have it as a tea. The tincture is more practical, it also depends on the brand, so I cannot really give you like directions, But for the tincture, you just put 1 drop in water. That's it, and you drink it. Or you can go for a loose leaf tea. It's widely available. And I'm just showing you an example here from a website. So this is a French woman. She's a naturopath and she's selling her own products. I just want to use it as an example. She's also very active on social media, but let me translate into English so you understand what's going on here. So it's what I talk about, the shepherd's purse. So it's in French, but here in English, shepherd's purse. And she actually explained how to take it, how it looks like. Okay, and how to take it to be consumed starting 3 days before your period starts and 5 days in total. 2 to 3 cups per day between meals as needed. And you just infuse 2 teaspoons in a cup of hot water for 7 to 10 minutes. And she also says that the leaves can be re-infused a second time on the same day. So that's very good tip to not waste this precious herb. Yeah, that was just an example. And I actually like the first comment. It says, I bought this herbal tea and like magic, my cycle went from 12 days to 7 days and soon it will be 6 days. But most importantly, I went from changing my sanitary pads every hour and a half to every 4 or 5 hours. What to relieve. Of course, you can say that this can be a fake comment. Yes, that's possible. But I believe it. I personally believe it because I've used the shepherd's purse tincture for one of my cycle so far. And the difference was night and day. For the first time in years, guys, for the first time in years, I had a full night of sleep. Restful sleep without waking up or rushing to the bathroom the second my feet touch the floor. I don't want to speak too fast. Again, it's been only one time, but so far it's been a game changer. I want you to be careful with those herbs, guys. If you don't have access to such professional, maybe you can find a herbalist at a local herbal shop and they can maybe guide you on the doses. For anyone in Berlin, I highly recommend Krauter House in Kreuzberg. I bought many of my herbs there and they are super helpful, very. If this feels completely overwhelming right now, I get it. I felt overwhelmed too when she showed me all the things I had to do. But if you are just starting out, please go watch my very first video because I did not start here. I started with one simple thing, taking an iron pill regularly. That's it, okay? I stayed with that until I could function again, until I could even work out again. So start there. Everything else come later, one step at a time. This is just my phase 2. Now, I don't know if this plan is going to work, but I'm going to give it my all. I am committed for these 4 months. So by the end of the year, let's come back together and have a little meeting, okay? In the meantime, I will be documenting this journey on my channel and on Substack. We can learn from each other, we can share experiences, we can motivate each other throughout this process. The goal of this video, I guess, was simply to show you how an investigative iron recovery journey could look like. Maybe it gives you ideas to discuss with your doctor. I wish you find the right support to understand your own root causes because it's such an important part of the entire process. Now, the big questions are still, will my fibroids shrink? Will I have lighter period? Will my hair and skin improve? Will my biomarkers change positively? Will I look fabulous? I hope so. Keep pushing towards optimal. Bisous, bisous, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!